Welcome to my presentation, Formulating with Artificial and Natural Integrity, the fifth order of pharmaceutical development. Today I'll share with you my insights on how artificial intelligence and natural human development principles can advance pharmaceutical development and manufacturing practices, making these more predictable and adaptable. What is integrity and what is intelligence and what is artificial and natural about these aspects? I wish to explore with you artificial and natural integrity concepts within the context of human development, adult human development, and total quality management systems. I will be using Dr. Deming total quality management system thinking along with Professor Keegan's constructive adult human development theory. I'll explore these concepts with a background, some challenges, and some questions and answers. This presentation today will set the stage for a work in progress case study in collaboration with Ram that will follow tomorrow. A nagging AI that corrects and prevents evidence misinterpretation is where I wish to take you in the next half an hour or so. Please note that I have prepared my slides with active links to sources and additional information. And my intent is to intuitively make pharma scientific method self-correcting as it is intended to be. I hope you agree with me that an ethical objective in a competitive business environment is to ensure pharmaceutical scientific method is self-correcting as intended. However, file first, figure it out later, which is a common phrase, rush to file to get the 180-day exclusivity, is not conducive to self-correcting scientific method. I remember the early days of biosimilar development program while I was at Sandoz. We adopted the phrase first in, last out. First in the market, not necessarily filing, but last out of the market to guide our efforts back then. We didn't think about AI-based development particularly, but today we can think about AI-enabled pharmaceutical development and commercialization. But this cannot be done in isolation. Our efforts need to align with current FDA perspectives on quality, safety, and effectiveness, and the agency's approach to utilizing AI to support pre-IND, pre-application, ANDA, and FDA review and CGMP inspection aspects. My focus will be on connecting statistics, mechanistic modeling, machine learning with the generative AI, which is the most popular buzzword of large language models. And I will sort of lay the foundation for some of my concerns with large language models in this presentation and pick up the connection and the importance of statistics, mechanistic understanding, as well as machine learning as grounding the language to ensure that we don't make false claims and that we do not misrepresent the evidence. Language grounded in knowledge is where I wish to take our discussion. The pharmaceutical industry has undergone significant changes since the generic drug scandal, with the Office of Pharmaceutical Science at FDA playing a crucial role in this evolution. However, the journey has been challenging. One persistent issue I have focused on is the need for more attention to physical attributes, physical performance attributes of dosage forms, the failure modes, as well as validity of related measurement systems. Often, the physical attributes are in the blind spot. and they contribute to external failures that undermine trust and and trust in therapeutic equivalence between brand name and the automatically substituted generic products. In this talk, I will focus on current FDA initiatives, including knowledge-aided assessment and structured application, quality management maturity, and large language models to facilitate reviews and inspection, and how we can ensure these will rebuild trust that is being lost. Now, my efforts at National Institute for Pharmaceutical Technology and Education were in part to bring some of these issues to surface. And the notion of new prior knowledge, especially new prior knowledge for legacy products, especially narrow therapeutic index legacy product, was one of the focus areas. And I believe that experience is valuable to share with you today. I believe immaturity is the core challenge we must confront. Despite advancements in science and technology, immaturity in our language, in our processes, and our systems continues to present ongoing difficulties. Pharmaceutical science and technology often needs to catch up to submissions, leading to challenges in correcting past regulatory submission and addressing items that are often labeled FDA approved and validated. It's a mindset. This mindset significantly contributes to low efficiency of the generic drug development and regulatory approval process. A quote from FDA issued Federal Register notice is catchy. The drugs described in more than half of all FDA approved ANDAs are never marketed only after substantial delay, or marketed only intermittently. Doesn't that suggest that we have a system which is working at 50% efficiency? Many market failures contribute to drug shortages, hinder consumer access to approved drugs. Can we envision an AI tool that expands awareness of our challenges, improves our understanding of what we can do individually and collectively, and broadly empower our agency? Agency as in what we must act upon to produce a particular result. Managing uncertainty and managing changing expectations. Uncertainty management, chaos to continual improvement is the direction I think we need to go, with or without AI-enabled development and manufacturing. Immaturity in language, actions, and systems often manifest as inconsistencies in expected behavior and a reliance on external validation without adequate internal validation. To be self-assured and assure others of quality with integrity demands maturity. Practicing integrated design thinking and systems approach is a sign of maturity. It is highly desired in healthcare, a lesson from the National Academies of Medicine, Science, and Engineering. In the pharmaceutical sector, when the Institute of Medicine was admitting to err is human, we were advancing quality by design and systems approach to quality management. 20 years later, it is illuminating to realize that education and training absolutely necessary but inefficient without adaptive learning or learning from experience of self and others. And a key to this effort is what we make of our experience. At the core, there is an interrelationship between how we feel, think, and act. And to make sense of these interactions is what meaning we make and what words we choose point to our language and our maturity. Welcome to the experience economy. In 2001, when we initiated the PAT initiative at the FDA Science Board, don't use, don't tell was a phrase uttered by one of the major pharmaceutical companies with respect to introducing new technology because of regulatory uncertainty. 2004, if I don't look, there is no problem, is the phrase at another major pharmaceutical company that sought to be self-correcting and move towards Six Sigma. Our language tells us a lot about our feelings. Feeling, to experience means to feel. And we have to utilize that experience to overcome the immunity to change. And that's really the message that comes together with constructive adult development theory, immunity to change from Harvard University's program, and Dr. Deming's total quality management system. Immaturity in language and systems is a key to moving forward. And the large language models that we build should allow us to develop ourselves as we are developing smart factories and smart pharmaceuticals. Be the change you want to see in the world is really the bottom line message here. We live and work in socio-technical system. The maturity of the system is reflected on our maturity. Smart tools, smartphones, smart factory, will these dumb down the humans and make humans irrelevant? That's a concern. Hence, I'm juxtaposing stages of maturity of a smart factory with that of a smart human. Across the globalized supply chain, speaking, reading, and writing in different languages can affect the timbre and harmony of one quality voice. Natural language processing offers a way to build large language models that empower all of us. All we need to do is follow the principles we have already committed to, input our integrity and intelligence to process in the hidden layers of AI in our mind, how we know what we know to understand what we write. Only then will our language reveal our assumptions. Unverified assumptions can cause deceptions, whereas verified assumptions justify our acceptance. We then explore what we need to know by asking questions and learning how confident we can be in the answers we obtain. In this way, we ground language in knowledge that is verifiable by each experiment or test we conduct over the life cycle of a product. Typical artificial intelligence tools are essentially black box. You give them input, they give you output. How they arrive at that output is dynamic, it changes. And therefore, we have to be careful and put aside the buzz associated with generative AI to ensure that we have appropriate training and test sets to validate utility of large language models in our regulated environment. Some decades ago, a generic company proposed to do bioequivalence trial in chocolate milk, whereas the reference listed drug product, a microemulsion, was indicated to be used with apple juice. FDA accepted that argument, accepted the application, approved the application only to withdraw it later. This is an example of ingrained mindset of a pivotal biotrials. The CMC reviewer in this case had raised the concern that the products are not pharmaceutical equivalent. Yet, the senior management at FDA Office of Generic Drug dismissed that concern and approved it, only to find later when the management changed at the company that the failed bioequivalence trial in apple juice was hidden, and only cherry-picked study of bioequivalence in a chocolate milk was submitted to FDA. Let's ensure language accuracy in the context of how would training sets for large language models will deal with such issues. Knowledge-aided assessment and structured application can be a powerful tool for ensuring objective risk management over the product life cycle. However, we must ensure that the legacy language and knowledge gaps are addressed. I'm concerned that lessons in legacy are not being learned. Let me share an example of generic metoprolol succinate ER. I have viewed this product over decades from multiple viewpoints, within and outside the FDA, companies receiving warning letters, complete response letter, and now as a grandfather. In 2007, there was a major recall for metoprolol succinate ER product. I could observe the challenges within the company. I was at Sandoz, and the generic unit released it without validation, rushed to commercial. And years later, you have another set of recalls. Consumer groups, patients complain, and no response from FDA. In fact, in the year 2013, number of companies had to recall this product, and FDA investigated and came to the conclusion root cause unknown. And the FDA spokesperson says, well, it's their fault. It's their test. It's their dissolution test. And while forgetting that the dissolution test was insisted upon many, many years ago as part of the approval process. And more later, in 2017, when I look at the complete response letter, the same Procrustean mindset on how you set specification continues. Together, the system is failing to correct and prevent misrepresentation of evidence and imposing Procrustean approaches, which are legacy approaches and not conducive to design and systems thinking. Dissolution is a critical to quality and qualia attribute, whether in matter or mind. Dissolution in mind and matter should come together in dissolution-informed quality and lifecycle management. The KSA offers an opportunity to improve dissolution specification setting for new products, as well as managing post-approval changes, as well as getting to the root cause of the problem through continued process verification. And continued process verification as part of process validation guideline in 2011 offers a way forward to address legacy products and legacy challenges, which will be a case example I will illustrate tomorrow. October is a month full of political surprises. What will the next October surprise be? We find ourselves in a precarious and emotionally charged situation where language can be damaging. We seem willing to sacrifice our constitutional rights by censoring and limiting debate. How can our scientific method remain self-correcting in this context? I'm hopeful that our journey together over the 3 decades, we have learned the difference between compliance with SOPs, which is supposed to be self-authored, and adherence to CGMP regulations. Might it not be prudent to build on this experience and work towards current good linguistic practices to ensure our efforts in developing large language models yields only goodness and wellness? In this overview, I sought to share with you some challenges and pose some critical questions. In part, the overview was intended to set the stage for a work in progress case study which will be presented tomorrow. Let me conclude with a reminder that the performance of both humans and AI is intricately linked to language, knowledge, and maturity. I hope this presentation has given you some reasons to share with me the urgency and the necessity to ensure AI systems that we develop expand human awareness, improve our understanding, and encourage agency via smart feedback. I see FDA's complete response letter, 483 observations, and warning letters as crucial feedback models in new drug development and AI development. Large language models can help make these smart. Smart as in self-monitoring and analyzing and reporting technology, smart as in smart business objectives. I propose that current good linguistic practices is needed to ensure that LLMs used during pre-approval phase genuinely represent the quality, safety, and effectiveness claimed in the post-market phase.